Hi YouTube. So I'm gonna be doing a live pregnancy test today. I'm 13 days past trigger, so I've never went negative, but I have fainted out about 9 days past trigger. It's been getting darker every day, but it's still hard to say whether or not it's real. I guess because I drink so much throughout the night that my urine is really diluted in the morning, so my tests are always really light. Yesterday I took one and it was really dark, and I posted that video for you guys. So I'm going to show you what this morning's looked like really quick. This was early morning, so it's there. It's just very, very faint. It's hard to see. So I'm going to go ahead and do another live one with my, I don't know, I guess it's like afternoon urine. I did my yoga this morning, so that's why I'm dressed like this, but my urine's much darker today, or at least this afternoon, so we're gonna test it out. I had one lady on a Facebook group tell me that hers was darker in the morning, and I was lighter in the morning and darker in the evening, and she said that what she had heard was that the longer your urine sits in your bladder, it is slowly reabsorbing HCG. So that's why there are a lot of people actually out there who have darker tests in the afternoon on a shorter hold, because I have, let me see if I can pull them up here for you. I did let's see, that's a PM. So here's like a good example. This is my morning urine compared to a 3-hour hold. So this is an 8-hour hold compared to a 3-hour hold. So here's my 8-hour. Ow, you can barely see it. And here is my 3-hour hold. So it's like completely different. It's so much darker on a shorter hold. So I figured that I would, give it a shot and do it. The trigger should be out of my system, so this positive should be real. I'm not 100% on it yet. I'm going to go in tomorrow for a beta, so I'll have like the actual results tomorrow, which I know I'm going to have HCG in my system. All my tests have been positive every single day. Yesterday's was a lot darker than this morning. And then this one's going to take, it's going to take about 5 minutes for anything to show up. That's just how all of these cheapies have been. Even when I had my super dark one, it took like 5 minutes for anything to show up. So I think it's just how the cheapies work. Everybody keeps telling me go get an FRER, and I just don't like the curved handle ones, the new curved handle ones, because they give out false EVAPs, and that just really bums me out. So like last cycle, I had a false EVAP, and it wasn't even like, it was within the time frame. It's just, they just need to get rid of the curved handle ones and go back to the regular ones. So anyway, but I don't even know if you're going to be able to see anything with this, because as I said, it takes a good 5 minutes for anything to show up on these cheap tests. These are from Dollar General. They're just like the cheap dollar ones. But anyway, like I was saying, so I'm not sure if it's real. I know that tomorrow when I go for my blood HCG, my beta, it's more than likely going to come up positive. But the thing is that it's going to determine if it doubles or not. That's going to be the determining factor, or at least if it's going up, if it was a trigger or not. I'm 12 DPO. I'm 11 DPO today. No, I'm 12 DPO today, 11 DPIUI, and 13 days past trigger today. So 13 days past trigger, and I'm gonna pop this one open right here live. If I can find my little file. Actually, I'm gonna dump this right now because that's kind of gross, right? Anyway, so I have like all these people who are always like, oh, it's invalid if you pop it out. And like, the thing is like, this is dried. I took this hours ago, and I seen it then, and I just left it in the case. And if it's like, this is that cheapie that has like the windows open, like there's no plastic right here. And I had one lady who was like, oh, well, if you bust it open, the air touches the strip and it causes an evap. And I'm like, so you're telling me that the air isn't touching this right now? Like, this is not plastic. This is the strip. I can feel it. And I got into an argument with her about it. And I'm like, I just don't understand. Like, I guess I understand, like, if it's like an FRER where the whole thing's encased in plastic and, like, if you pop it out, like, when it's still wet, then, yeah, it's going to dry differently. Because they had, like, that little, I know that you've busted them open. The little, it looks like a little pill, I guess, to keep it, like, moisturized. But, like, with these cheapies, they're just dipsticks. That's all they are. This is just, like, a Wanfo dipstick. So, I mean, it's not going to affect anything. Plus, this is already dry, so I'm popping it out anyway. But, I'm, like, pro with this now. I have, like, this little thingy, and it's ridiculous. This is the one I did this morning, by the way. I hope it is. Yeah. This is the one I did this morning that I'm just going to show you guys. Because it's just easier for me to, like, compare to so you can actually see the line. So, I'm going to give you a dark one and show you my first morning here, and it's positive. I mean, and you know, I've been taking these cheap tests for at least the last 3 years, and I've never gotten positive, so that's why I'm like, this isn't like, and I've kept them before for hours, and I don't get evaps on these, at least. So bottom one was this morning, top one was a couple days ago. I'm just giving you a dark line to compare to. In the bottom. Maybe if I, like, sandwich them. So my middle one is today's. You guys can see it. Not sure. But my middle one is today's, and it's positive. It's there. It's pink. Guys, it's just so hard to see. Like I told you guys before, my camera's, like, weird. That didn't help, did it? Anyway, but that was this morning. That was my first morning urine. And then I'm going to go ahead and lift this up and show you what it's doing. It's been 3 minutes, I guess, since we've taken it. So I'll show you, and it looks negative, but it'll darken up throughout the day. So, it's negative, or it looks negative. These tests, like, and I mean, I never really, like, thought anything into it, but, like, okay, so this is my first test that I keep bringing up, I know, but this is the first one. This is my trigger test. This is my, you know, we know it's positive, we know everything about it, and it took 5 minutes for this to even, like, faint line, and it was faint at that period of time when it came up. So, with these cheap ones, it says it may take up to 10 minutes to show anything, and that's just the truth of it. And then, you know, you see anything within the 10 minutes, obviously, if you've ever kept a positive pregnancy test, you know they get darker over time. So, you guys probably don't want to just sit here and listen to me talk for 10 minutes. But, I mean, I see a line, but who knows? I'll keep testing throughout the day, and I'll test tomorrow morning, and we'll see what happens. A lot of people say that it's probably not the trigger, just because I'm so far away from the trigger, and it's been, like, so dark. Like, I took my my test I took yesterday morning, and I took it to my mom's because she wanted to see it, and I left it there. So I would compare yesterday's with this morning's, but I left it there, like I said. So that sucks. But, like, yesterday's, at first, it kind of looked like this one. Which, yeah, I know you guys can't see that. I wish I could, like, input a picture, but it's just not going to happen. So, this was what mine looked like yesterday, and then it got darker. So, I mean, any line that there is going to get darker, and it's so hard to compare. Like, as long as the line is there, it's positive, like, within the time frame. So, like, this one's positive. But it's, like, it's hard to compare this test to the other ones, because, as you said, like, if you've ever been pregnant and you've ever kept a positive pregnancy test, you know, because, like, it's a keepsake, you know that, like, the line gets darker. Like, you know, this wasn't that dark of, like, a purple when I first took it. You know, it was like a pink. Well, over time, they get darker and darker. So it's like all the tests that I've had over the last week, or 2 weeks, I guess it's almost 2 weeks, they've all dried completely. So they're so much darker than what they originally were. So it's really hard. As long as the line's there and it's positive within the time frame, I'm going to keep it as a positive. I'm going to mark it down as a positive, and I'm going to just honestly let it dry. And I know that's so taboo to say, and I'm sure people are like, oh my God, don't do that. But when you're testing out your trigger, you have to see if it's getting lighter or darker each day. And how else are you going to do that other than just letting it dry? Because you can't compare a wet test to a dry test. The dry test is always going to be darker. So, as I said, I mean, if nothing pops up within like the 10 minutes, I'm just going to mark it as a negative. And then anything that forms afterwards is an evap, obviously. So, that's why, like, you know, I'll sit here and, like, I'll watch it and see if anything pops up. And if I see a line, I'll be like, okay, it's positive. And then obviously it gets darker over time. So, and then when it dries completely, I can compare it to yesterday's and be like, oh, okay, it's lighter, it's darker. And my theory right here, what I'm doing, it works. The tests that were really faintly positive, they didn't dry to the point of where they're like a big fat positive. You know, like this one was my lightest test I've taken thus far, and it was 9 days past trigger, and it was super, super light. And I seen that it was positive. I almost marked it negative, but I seen that little line, and when it dried, it ended up being positive. So you guys probably can't see that. Maybe you guys can see like a little hint of a line. But that was my 9 days past trigger, and then I took one first morning urine 10 days past trigger, and bam. So that's why I'm like, oh, maybe I'm pregnant. But then, like, my lines keep doing this really weird, like, thing where it, like, it gets really, really dark and then gets really, really light the next day, and dark and light and dark and light. So, like, it's like, yeah, this morning's was lighter than yesterday's, a lot lighter. But at the same time, it's like I had that yesterday, the day before yesterday, 11. My morning one was so light and I was so sad. I was like, okay, it's negative, you know, I guess I'm not pregnant, or my trigger's finally out of my system. You know, I was really upset about it. And then like, I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to take another one at night and make sure it's out of my system. And what do you know? It's this big bad boy. This is the one I took at night when my morning one was almost positive, or it was almost negative. So it's like, I don't know. For some reason, my body just, I guess it produces more HCG if I'm pregnant at night. So it's an interesting thing. I'm trying to talk to you guys until the 10-minute mark is up so I can really determine if this is a positive or a negative. Or if you guys are even going to be able to see anything. But I don't know. I mean, of course I see a line. All my tests have been positive, and that's kind of crazy to say, you know, when you're testing out your trigger. Is you kind of, some people are like, oh, I really wish it'd go negative, and I wish mine was that easy. Like, I really wish it just would have went negative and stayed negative, you know, and then went positive or something. Like, I've just had faint positives every single day, you know, like since it faded to almost negative at 9, it's just come back, and it's just been a faint positive every day. It hasn't gotten darker. It's like mornings go lighter, night goes darker, and it doesn't make any sense to me. So, I just don't know what's going on with my body. I don't know why I would randomly surge HCG. It just doesn't make sense. But I'm 13 days past my trigger, so I mean it should be out by now. I also took a Rexall test, which they're just crap. Like, Rexall tests at Dollar General, they're just absolute crap. Obviously, they're a blue dye, so they're gonna be crap. But I seen a line, and you know what? I popped the test out. Why? Because I can. So don't tell me it's invalid, because I'm not gonna listen to you. But basically, like, I seen a line in the thing, and like it has that like weird like plastic sheen over it, and like when you try to take the picture of it, it's just weird. It's just like the light bounces off of it, and you can't get a picture of it, and it's just, you know. But I mean, it's positive. I mean, that was yesterday's, but it's light. I mean, I'll show you guys. Wrong way. My bad. I don't even know if you guys can see that. It's like right there. Oh, I think you could see it better when my finger was over it. But it's like in between those two little like indents. And like it was positive. But I mean, I don't trust a blue dye as far as, you know, being a positive, because I've had one before that looked something similar to that. But of course, like with that, it was one of those cases where I was like, oh, okay, it's negative, you know, at like the 20-minute mark, it was still negative, and I popped it out and let it dry for like a day, and then I seen something. So it was definitely an evap. This one I saw within the time limit. So, I mean, that's what counts, is that you see it. I seen it actually, like when it came across, I see the line like immediately appear. It's just not as dark. But that was like, I don't know, it was at night, yesterday night I took it. So I don't even know like how much I had to drink, or how diluted my urine was, or anything like that. So this test is looking pretty negative. My eyes are playing tricks on me. It's looking pretty negative. 15 minutes. So it's looking pretty negative, but as I said, I mean, I'm gonna continue to test. I have a whole bunch of Dollar Cheapies. I keep wiping out my Dollar General. I keep walking in there, and they have like 10 more, and I'm like, all right, I'll take them all. And they always look at me like I'm crazy. But I might go today to go get an FRER and take it tomorrow morning before my beta. They don't even know I'm coming in for a beta tomorrow, because normally they just wait for my period, but with all of these positives getting lighter and darker, I think that I need to know, that way if I am pregnant and like my HCG is just low, I can get on progesterone supplements or something, because my temperature, I haven't been temping regularly this cycle, but I've been temping like every now and then, and it's border like 98.20. So I mean, that's a lot lower than what I normally have. So I'm worried that if I am pregnant, that I'm just struggling. So I'm gonna go ahead and call in the beta tomorrow morning, because they're closed, and demand that I come in, and they'll let me come in, and they'll just run the test. And sorry, this line just looks a lot darker for some reason. That was this morning's test. But I'll show you this one. And this is like my second morning urine. It's probably like an hour hold, if that. I'm just like testing the theory of like the longer you hold it, the more diluted you get, just because your HCG is reabsorbing back into your body. So I'm really just kind of testing out that theory and seeing if that's what it is. This is like an hour hold, but I did drink a bottle of water during my yoga. So it's looking pretty negative, but I will still test tonight. To see if it's dark like it has been the last couple days at night, and then I'll try to get an FRER. I'll test tomorrow morning, and then I'll go in for my beta, and I'll let you guys know all of that tomorrow. But I'll show you today's what I just did. This is like my live pregnancy test dealio. I mean, it's looking pretty negative right now, but it's hard to say. I mean, try to get it to not focus on my face. But, I mean, it's hard to say at this point. And I know it sounds like I'm just like being really positive and being like, oh, you know, I can still be positive. But with the way that my tests have been going, and it's been like, oh, okay, like negative. And then I was like, okay, great, it's negative. And then I test again at the night, and it's like crazy dark. And I'm like, okay, so it's positive. And then I test the next morning, and it's negative, and it's positive. And HCG just doesn't do that. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't fluctuate like that. So I don't understand. I mean, why it would be stronger and then lighter and whatever. But I'll give you guys a look one more time at yeah, I mean, it looks really negative. I can't see anything. But, I mean, it was like an hour hold, so I'll show you guys one more time. I'll twist it all kinds of ways. You guys can really try to look and see if you see anything. But, as I said, I mean, mine this morning was positive, and, like, it doesn't go super negative, like, within an hour. It's just the dilution of the urine, the concentration. So this is this morning's, which, I mean, from here, like, on my front-facing camera, I can see that it's positive. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. I'll go ahead and compare the two for you guys. Boop, 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 boop. Let's see. See how this one's like positive? See? I'm not the best like video maker. Anyway. But that's that. I went to the bathroom and my urine was dark. So I was like, okay, well, you know, I was like, okay, I'll do a live pregnancy test and make my video for you guys today and see what happens. And it's looking pretty negative, but it was on like a couple, like an hour hold or something like that. So I'm still staying positive, and if not, I'm still staying positive either way. I'm gonna try to look up and tired. Gonna try to look up and get some stuff done today and go get some good tests and not dollar cheap tests, because I still have the digital left, but I'm not gonna use the digital. Sorry, I see a line, but you know how that goes. I'm not gonna use the digital until I know if I'm pregnant or not, just because it's like the one with like the weeks estimator on it, and I got it because I was so sure I was pregnant a couple days ago because it was getting darker, and it said not pregnant. So I went to like my support group and they were like, oh well, those take a lot. I think those are like 50 MIUs. So I'm not even gonna bother with that one. I don't want to waste the money on it or waste the money taking it. So I'm just gonna hang in there, and so I'm gonna use the cheapies until we go get a first response and see what it says. So, and then I guess we'll go from there and see if it has a pink line, because I don't know if those are actually more sensitive than these. I'm not sure. I'll have to do my research and see if the cheapies, if the first response are more sensitive than the cheapies. I really wish I had Wanfo, because I know that they're like the most sensitive test out there. I don't care what you say. They have like a 15 MIU threshold, I think, and that's great. So anyway, I think I'm gonna be done blabbering. I stare at the test for another second and see if I can see anything for you guys. I mean, I do see a line, and like, I don't consider myself to have line eyes because I'm pretty brutal with myself, like, at least with this cycle, because at this point it's still early, like as far as like DPO, DPIUI. So I mean, it could go either way from this point, but it's really mainly to see if my trigger's still there and if it's getting darker or lighter. And it's still there. I mean, it was there an hour ago, so I don't know why it wouldn't still be there right now, but I figured I'd do a live pregnancy test for you guys. So I guess that's it for today, and unless I get like a blaring positive tonight, I will not be back until tomorrow, and I'll take an FRER tomorrow, and if it is blazing positive tomorrow, the FRER, I will make a video to show you that. But if it's faint, then I'll wait for my beta to come back, and then we can have fun comparing the two. And if I'm not pregnant for my beta, I can be like, really? I'm not pregnant? Because I don't understand how I can get like 20 positives and not have at least like, if these have a minimum threshold of 25 MIUs, that's like what they pick up. It's on their website. It's what they pick up. Then please tell me how I have a line, and it's pink, I promise, how I have a line here. Because, the blood pregnancy test, they consider anything over 5 positive. So if I don't at least have a 5, I'm going to be pretty blown away, because I keep getting positive pregnancy tests. So, anyway, I'm not looking too positive. I'm not like, I'm not considering myself pregnant. As much as I would love to be pregnant, I really had this like dream real quick I'll tell you about last night. It was really in detail. It was beautiful. I was testing and my lines were getting darker and darker, and I went in for an ultrasound, and I remember I was looking at the ultrasound, and she's like, okay, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and like I had 5. I think that's quintuplets. And like in my head, in my sleep, I go, oh, I'm pregnant with quintuplets, and I woke up, and I was like, what was that called when you're pregnant with 5? It was funny because like I couldn't remember like what the word was for like 5 twins, like 5 babies, and like it was just so funny that when it hit me, I'm like, wow, I remembered that in my sleep, but I couldn't remember. Not a lot of people know anything past like twins, triplets, quadruplets, quintuplets. Like people don't really know that. But in my brain, it was crazy because I like, in the ultrasound, like I had like 3 good sacs, and they were like, oh, here's baby A, B, and C. And then I had 2 smaller ones in D and E, and they were like, they might get absorbed, they might not make it, you know, we'll continue to monitor you. And like, I don't know if you guys can see, but I'm tiny. I mean, I'm actually, I've gained 20 pounds trying to get pregnant, and I'm considered normal. I have a normal BMI now. And if you want to know, I weigh 120 pounds at 5'6". So I'm actually like a healthy weight now. And like, quintuplets would like destroy me. So I mean, I'm nervous about, I mean, I would love to have anything that I'm given, you know, any amount of child I'm given, any 1, 2, 5, or 6, I don't care. I'm happy with whatever, but I just thought that was such an interesting dream. You know, I've had many dreams of where I get a positive I'm pregnant. I've had dreams of me giving birth, but seeing an ultrasound and actually seeing like the sacs like on the ultrasound thing, and I was like, oh, can I have a picture? And like she gave me a picture, and I took it home to my husband and my parents, and I just thought it was such a funny dream. So that's really interesting, I think, but it's probably because I do too much research during the day. And see, you know, what's going on with everybody else. And I think it was because I had this lady yesterday who told me all of her tests are like this. You know, they kept bouncing back and forth after her trigger, and she thought it was just a trigger, and she was actually pregnant with triplets. So, I mean, she just had low HCG. So, you never know, I guess. But I thought that was a little funny. Wasting more time, I guess. But this is positive. There's a faint line. It's there. I mean, I knew it was going to be there. I just wanted to see if it was darker with second morning urine instead of first morning urine. But I'll show it to you again. Whoops. You can't see it, but it's there. Trust me. I know I've been taking pregnancy tests for the last 2 weeks, and I know when it's positive and when it's not. So anyway, I guess I'm done talking to you guys. I will get back to you tomorrow and let you know how my beta test goes and let you know if I'm really pregnant or not. So thanks.